So I want to make a platformer level, and the first thing I did is make the super duper cool sword. Yeah, so these are all the triggers and this beautiful sword. So let's start here. These ones are that like the sword follows the player and also this collision block. And it just like toggles it off so you can't see the sword when you're not attacking. And all these triggers here are the actual attack. So let's start. So this event trigger is so when you push the jump button, it will play this right here, and this all is the animation and the stuff. So these toggle triggers are for the collision block. The collision block is just so the sword can do stuff, but I haven't implemented that yet. And these alpha triggers are for the sword so you can see it. These rotate triggers are just so the sword swings from the one side to the other. So yeah, the sword starts here. In the middle is the player, and it just like moves to the other side. Initially I had it so when you look to the right the sword slashes to the right and the opposite when you look to the left, but I couldn't make that work. There was like a weird bug that when you switch directions and hit the jump button at the same time you slash the sword, it was just buggy and I couldn't fix it. So I used this solution instead where it just goes around the player once. But these pause triggers are so you can't just like spam this immediately, so this has a bit of delay. Like there's a delay time between the slashes, so you can't just like slash every millisecond or so. You can just extend that delay by doing this and moving it further to the right. This SFX trigger is just for the sound effect, so it feels more polished, and yeah, that's the entire sword, not that complicated. And then you have this beautiful sword. I also want to show off this damage system I made. So all of these triggers are for the health bar, so that's not that important to the system. So this is just like a visual indication on how much damage you took. This is the actual important stuff, and this is just polished, so your screen flashes red and there's like a sound effect if you take damage. But I will concentrate on these triggers because these are the actual important ones. So basically I have this pickup trigger that has item ID 1. And this count right here is how much damage this is going to deal to the player. So I have this on 5. The player has 50 health right now. And so basically when you hit this, so yeah, item ID 1. So if item ID 1 is hit, then this counter goes up. So this count trigger right here is also important. So this target count is what the count here wants to hit until something happens. And what's happening is group 9 is going to toggle on, and group 9 are these toggle triggers right here. Yeah, they will toggle on the spike that's following the player, so when target count 50 is hit, the player dies. Quick interruption, the green toggle trigger was completely pointless because I can just toggle on the spike with the count trigger. And this is the health bar. That's a little bit inconvenient how I made that, but basically how it worked is this spacebar is divided in these little segments, and each of them has like a group, and then when the count hits, for example 5, this toggle trigger is toggled, and that toggles off like the first segment, and that goes on until the health bar is empty. Yeah, pretty easy, a little bit inconvenient. I'm sure there's like a better way to do that, but I did it this way because I'm not that intelligent. Yeah, that's what I have so far. So yeah, bye.